Welcome to season 2 of Bold Predictions. It's the segment on my channel where I make bold predictions based on kind of the seasons of sports. And typically, it's usually the NFL that I like to make my bold predictions on. Season 2, I did this a little bit last year. I'm back doing it again this year. It's where I basically just try and predict the outcome of these NFL games. And usually the first couple of weeks are very difficult because I'm not quite sure how each team is going to look. But once we get more into the season and in the weeks, I have a little bit better of an understanding, and hopefully my predictions become more accurate. Um, it's going to be a bit of a shorter one. I'm running a little bit low on time today, so it's going to be kind of rushed. I'll still try to give some explanations as best as I can, but usually I like these segments to be like 30-35 minutes so I can give you my perspective, what I think the other perspectives are from, qualified sports professionals and media professionals. But today, we're just going to cut it a little bit short. Hope that is okay. But also, it's week one. So I'm not quite sure how my predictions are going to turn out. I hope they do somewhat well. And if they don't, we can just consider it a flop. But we'll kick things off. I am recording this on a Thursday night, and it will be Thursday night, most likely, when this gets uploaded. I started this a few hours ago, but I had another commitment that I had to go to, so we cut that short. I'm not going to use that audio since it did feel very rushed. So I'm recording this again. I do want to make it known that I had my Thursday night football predictions all ready to go yesterday. So when you hear me talk about my predictions in a minute, just know that I already had this set. I haven't looked at what the score is for Thursday night football. I'm not going to check. I don't want to cheat. But without further ado, let's get into this. Season 2, bold predictions. I'm excited, and I hope you are excited as well. Share the screen here because these are predictions. Usually I just read off of a piece of paper, but now you get visuals and you can see. Hopefully that's a little bit easier to follow along. So we have Thursday night football. It is Cowboys versus Eagles. And as you can see here, I have the Eagles winning 33-14. Now, I made this prediction because A, the Eagles are reigning Super Bowl champions, and B, I don't think the Cowboys were going to win at all. So that's my second reasoning. However, when I did look at the score during halftime, it was 21-20 with the Eagles up by one. Could that have changed since 20 minutes ago? Absolutely. Again, I'm not going to look at the score, what the score is right now. I don't want to cheat that way. But I did have them winning 33-14. The Cowboys did get rid of Micah Parsons, arguably their best defensive player and the best player on their team. But already the Cowboys are proving that they can hold themselves close to a very, very good football team. They've already scored more than 14 points, so that's a bit off. The Eagles could still very well dominate them though. So I have them, if I can do math, I think I have them winning by 18 here. So that's my Thursday night football prediction. For Friday football, we have the Chiefs versus the Chargers. They are playing in Brazil. At least I think it's in Brazil. If I'm wrong, please correct me below. I do have the Chiefs winning 24-20. I think the Chiefs are a very good team. They've been to the Super Bowl the past 3 years. They have won back-to-back Super Bowls before. The Chargers are getting up there in terms of being a good team. They absolutely have potential. I love their quarterback, Justin Herbert. He is very good and really knows his football well. But when you're playing the Chiefs, however, when you still have Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, it's kind of hard not to pick them. but I do have them winning by 4. And my reasoning for that is it is an overseas game for both teams. So home field advantage is not necessarily guaranteed in that aspect, but we'll see. I have Chiefs by 4. Then on to the Sunday slate. Dolphins versus Colts. Dolphins, I have winning by 7. I think the Dolphins again are average team. I think they start off very well during the first couple of weeks, and then when we get to like the mid-season point, they're still about average, and then towards the end of the season, they kind of slide down a little bit. The Colts, they proved me wrong last season. I thought they were going to be very bad. They actually turned out to be pretty decent, but I do have Dolphins winning by 7. I think the Dolphins are overall the better team there, and I like their potential as well. Next up, we have the Steelers versus the Jets. The Steelers picked up Aaron Rodgers during the trade season, postseason, however you want to look at it. So they have a new quarterback. They did trade their other quarterback, Russell Wilson. I believe they traded Justin Fields as well, or maybe he's still with them. And with the Jets did not impress me at all during the preseason games. They looked awful, and I don't like to say that word too much when I speak about football teams, but they looked awful. They didn't change anything in regards to what they really needed to work on. And if it didn't show in the preseason, then it's not going to translate into the regular season when it starts to count most. I have Steelers by 14. It wouldn't shock me if they were to blow out the Jets, but right now we're just sticking with 14. Up next, Panthers versus Jaguars. This was a pretty hard pick for me, and I'm saying that as a Carolina Panthers fan. When I made my tier list on my episode of my podcast, I ranked all these NFL teams on a tier list. I wanted desperately to put the Panthers in the failure list. I'm not saying that because I think they stink, but they have not impressed me in recent years, especially Bryce Young with the Jaguars as well. They just have not shown me that they are ready to show up and win games. I do have Panthers winning by a touchdown. I have hope that they're going to be better this year than they were last year. They did pick up a really good wide receiver in the first round of the NFL draft. Bryce Young still absolutely has the potential to grow and be better. I just have not seen that personally from him yet. He just needs time you need time to develop these quarterbacks, and how Carolina went about handling their young quarterback situation probably wasn't the best course of method and success for Bryce with the Jaguars as well. They have Trevor Lawrence. He's a good quarterback too, but they have not impressed me. So I'm going just a slight Panthers win. Up next, Cardinals versus the Saints. This was arguably one of the harder picks for me. I know I said that about the Panthers and the Jaguars, but this one was truly 50-50. The Cardinals had a decent year last year. They were on top of their division, but I don't believe they finished absolute dead last. I could be wrong about that as well. And admittedly, I didn't watch enough of Saints football to really garner how well they did. So this was truly a 50-50 toss-up. I am giving the slight edge to the Cardinals here by 3. I've liked what they have done in the past with their offense. They're utilizing it well, and they are in a division with the 49ers, the Rams, and the Seahawks. I don't know how well the Seahawks are going to be this year. I don't know how well the 49ers are going to be this year, losing Debo and Dre Greenlaw. And the Rams are a question mark for me too, if Matthew Stafford is going to stay fully healthy or not. So the Cardinals absolutely have potential to be on top of their division there. But I'm just going to go with them by 3 for just to be a little bit safe. Up next, Giants versus Commanders. The Giants have been in the bottom of the NFL for what seems like forever. That's an exaggeration, but kind of accurate. I'm sorry to Giants fans. The Commanders did make the postseason last year. They are gradually getting better every year, it seems like. And Jaden Daniels was phenomenal last season. For a rookie, he defeated all those expectations and doubts that people had about him. I think he's only going to go up instead of down in his second season. What Dan Quinn has done with that program too in just 1 year is nothing short of incredible. I have the Commanders winning by 10. Now the Giants did pick up Russell Wilson. That does help their quarterback situation a little bit, but I can't see a scenario where the Commanders just give this game away. Up next, it's the Bucs versus the Falcons. I have the Buccaneers by 10, again with Baker Mayfield as the quarterback, having great success there. The Falcons, I haven't watched a lot of Falcons football, but I know that they are also kind of in a division. I believe the same division as the Buccaneers, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm just going with the Bucs by 10. Then we have the Bengals versus the Browns. I have the Bengals winning by 13 points. And my reasoning for that, I might be a little bit too generous there, but I've heard professionals, I've heard media experts say that Joe Burrow is arguably one of the best quarterbacks in the league. And I am inclined to believe and go along with that. Joe Burrow is a great quarterback, but also very smart with the football. His football IQ, I believe, is up there with some of the greatest players of all time. What they have done with the offense, however, I believe they kind of waste some of his potential there. And the biggest critique with the Bengals is how slow of a start they get off to in the regular season. We're talking weeks 1 through week 6 or even week 7. There's just a slow start. They don't show up and like perform for us. We do see that towards the mid-season and the end of the regular season into the postseason. That's where the Bengals, I feel like, are at their absolute best, playing some of the best football in the National Football League. It's just the slow start that gives me a little bit of hesitancy with them. And with the Browns, with their quarterback situation, I know Joe Flacco is starting week 1. Joe Flacco is one of the older or oldest quarterbacks in the league. And then you have 2 rookie backups. You have Dylan Gabriel, Shedeur Sanders. I know they still have Myles Garrett, but if the Bengals can get off to a good start right away at the start of the game and keep that momentum going, I believe we see a big victory for them. So that's why I have Bengals by 13. The defense does concern me and worry me a little bit, but I'm still going based off of the fact that the Bengals offense is one of the best in the league. Then we have the Raiders and the Patriots, another 50-50 game for me. The Patriots weren't great last season, but they were okay with what they had. Same with the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm going Patriots by 7. I know Drake May was another rookie last season, didn't have the greatest rookie year, and with the Patriots too, kind of in between team when it seems like you could teeter between below average and average. I'm going with the Patriots though. I feel it, and my gut said to pick them, so that's why I went with them by a touchdown. Up next, the 49ers and the Seahawks, the battle of the NFC West teams. This was tricky for me, I won't lie. I'm going with the 49ers because you bring back, I just had to think of what they were bringing back. They're bringing back their quarterback, Brock Purdy. They're bringing back CMC, Christian McCaffrey. They're bringing back George Kittle and Brandon Ayuk, Ricky Pearsall, who has actually surprised me during preseason with his reps. And then defensively, too, you did lose some of your defensive players. So that's a little bit of a blow, I think, for the 49ers. But you just have to look at what they are getting back. And that's how I view it. The Seahawks did trade Geno Smith, bringing in Sam Darnold, who had a really good year with the Vikings last season. I am just sort of edging towards the 49ers here. I know the defense might be a little bit of a concern for 49ers fans. How are they going to adjust without Dre Greenlaw? How are they going to look defensively and operate around that? Same with the offense too. I I don't know if Brandon Ayuk is cleared to play in this game yet. I know he was injured during preseason, but you're getting back Ricky Pearsall, who for a rookie wide receiver last year and dealing with all the injuries too, I believe he did really good. And I'm excited to see what he's going to look like in his year two as a wide receiver. So that I'm going 49ers by 6. Um, I've seen Brock Purdy play. He is a really, really good quarterback. Doesn't get enough credit as what he deserves. I've also seen Sam Darnold play, but I'm just going based off of experience and based off what you have and what the 49ers offense has compared to the Seahawks offense led me to pick the 49ers in this certain scenario. Then we have the Texans versus the Rams. The Texans, who are a great team, versus the Rams, who are another great team. I mentioned at the top of this segment that the NFC West division could truly be up for grabs because I don't know how the Cardinals are going to look, but they certainly have potential to claim their division. I don't know what the Seahawks are going to look like without Geno Smith and trading DK Metcalf as well, but there's always hope for them. The 49ers probably have the best shot of clinching that division, but it depends on who stays healthy. Can you win games if your quarterback or your best running back, tight end, wide receivers are out? That's up for debate. And I don't know if Matthew Stafford will stay fully healthy for the Rams. Again, he is a little bit older, so that's a worry for me. But I am going with the Rams by 3. I love CJ Stroud. I love what he does and what he's been doing the past couple of years with the Texans. Absolutely deserving of all the success that he's had out there. But when you have a Super Bowl winning quarterback on your team with experience who knows how to show up in those big moments, that is Matthew Stafford. And again, Super Bowl champion back in 2021, I believe. I'm giving it to the Rams here, but it would not shock me if the Texans pulled off a win as well. I'm also just realizing that I missed another team here. So we're going to add into here. It is the Lions versus the Packers. I don't know how I missed that earlier, but I'm giving the Lions a win here. I'm gonna say Lions win by a touchdown. I know the Packers just acquired Micah Parsons from the Cowboys. That absolutely elevates their defense 100%. Micah Parsons is one of the best edge pass rushers, and one of the best defensive players that I have seen in a very long time. Incredibly skilled. His football knowledge is up there with some of the other great players of his generation. And again, just you can tell that he works hard and he wants to earn the success that equates both on and off the field. Packers absolutely gaining a massive weapon defensively. With the Lions, they have slowly been getting up there in terms of one of the best teams in the NFL. Made the playoffs last year, made the playoffs the previous year, went to the NFC Championship, and ultimately fell short to the 49ers. But I'm saying Lions by 7. It's going to take time for Micah Parsons to adjust and fit in with the Packers defense. But once he gets settled and he fits in, then I believe we start to see his impact on the team slowly grow and equate to what we're going to see on the field. But it's just going to take a little bit of time. And I know he's been dealing with sort of a back injury or an injury as well. So I that kind of also sways my opinion towards the Lions. Then we have Sunday Night Football. It's the Ravens and the Bills, two very great teams. I put them on my elite tier for a reason, and we are in. I think we are in for a show. The Bills, their quarterback Josh Allen, reigning MVP of last season, absolutely deserving of it. I think he's been deserving of it for quite some time. To see him win, he truly did deserve it. And the Bills had a really great year, but you can say the same thing for the Ravens as well. Lamar Jackson is a two-time MVP, arguably could have been a three-time MVP last season. It was truly a toss-up. The Ravens don't have the best success in the postseason compared to the Bills, but what Lamar Jackson has done for that team, what the weapons that he also has with him, like the tight end Mark Andrews, defensively, I'm going with the Ravens by one. I think it's going to be a very close game. Could absolutely come down to the wire, but I'm sticking with the Ravens here. I I want to say the Bills, but I'm not going to change anything. We're going to leave it with the Ravens. It's truly going to be a toss up, and I just had to pick one team, and the team that I went with is the Ravens. Then finally, we have Monday Night Football. It's the Vikings versus the Bears. It's going to be the battle of the quarterbacks. We have Caleb Williams in year two, rookie last year. And then we're going to see the season debut of JJ McCarthy out the entire year last year due to a season-ending injury. We're finally going to see what he is capable of, and I'm excited to see that. I'm going with the Vikings by 6. Again, I might be just a little bit generous with giving the Vikings a win by less than a touchdown, or equating to a touchdown. I guess the extra point isn't always guaranteed in football, but I'm going with the Vikings here. I know Caleb Williams had a bit of a down year last year, and I'm not taking anything away from him. I think of him in the same way I think of Bryce Young. Has room to improve. Didn't have the best success in year one, but there's absolutely room for growth. Do I think he's going to get better with a new head coach? Absolutely. You just have to develop him and work with him and make sure that he's set up for success instead of just throwing him into the scene right away. I talked about that a little bit as well when I was doing my tier list. With the Vikings, I don't know what JJ McCarthy is capable of. That is true, but the Vikings were good last season. Granted, they did have Sam Darnold as their quarterback, but JJ McCarthy also had the opportunity to watch and learn and kind of observe in a way the quarterback and the plays around him. And now being fully healthy for the season, getting some of those reps in either training camp and practice and some in the preseason as well. He's going to shock us, I think, and I'm very excited to see that. I also don't know if I even got the Broncos in here. I know the Broncos should be playing week 1. We're gonna look that up too quickly and see if I missed some teams here. I very well could have. There we go. It's the Titans and the Broncos. How did I miss that? I don't know. We're gonna add that here. Broncos versus Titans. The Titans got the first overall pick in the draft in this year's draft. So they were kind of bad. The Broncos surprised me last year, made the playoffs. Did they lose at the first round of the playoffs? Yes, they did, but they still made the playoffs. Bo Nix really took me by surprise as well. I was not expecting that good of a season from him. And they also beat the Chiefs 38-0. Was that at the end of the regular season, though, in week 17 or week 18? Yes. But when you beat the Chiefs, I count that as a massive win. I'm giving the Broncos a win by 10. Again, I'm comparing the quarterback situation here. Bo Nix, year 2, I think I'm gonna make a bold prediction here is that I think Bo Nix is gonna have the best year out of any year two quarterbacks this season. I feel confident saying that. Could I be wrong? Absolutely. Could I be right? I absolutely could be right as well. So it's a wait and see there. The Titans did get Cam Ward, quarterback from Miami. I don't know how that's gonna look right away for them, but I'm giving Broncos by 10 there. And that is it for my bold predictions. Thanks for watching. I'm going to do this every week during the NFL season. And I'll give a kind of an update on how well I do. And then we'll go from there. But until then, there's week one. See you back next week for week two.